Any questions, any doubts you have, any challenges? Any questions, guys? Do you have any questions? Anyone having any questions? I hope you can hear me, right?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Okay, done. Just a minute. చిన్న డోర్ వేసుకుంటున్నాను టీచ్ ప్లీజ్ లక్ష్మి నువ్వు తీయో fine. Let me share my screen. Right, okay, in the last class we discussed about the internals, guys. Discussed internals of SQL servers, like when you install SQL server, what will happen, right? How many services will be created, guys, when you install SQL server?
6.
So, out of 6, how many are shared?
2 shared and 4
shared, 4 specific.
Okay, so when I install 5 instances, total how many services I can see? 5 instances.
22.
22, sir.
Very good. 5 4 is 20. 5 4 is 20 plus 2 extra shared services. So 22 services you can see. Very good, guys. So how many folders will be created? What and all folders will be created?
8 folders.
8, sir.
Okay. Not folders, 8 are files. That is different. Okay, folders I'm asking. Okay, no need to tell number of folders. Why? Because it's difficult. Say for example, if I install SQL Server 2019, what is the highest folder that you can see in the C program files? Highest number of folder. Which one is the
150.
highest? 150. Okay. If you install SQL Server 2019, you will get you can see one folder called 150, and all these things we discussed, right? So what is the shortcut to open Management Studio? What is the shortcut?
Windows button and SSMS.
Yeah. So
Windows button.
before Management Studio, what tool we have to connect to SQL Server? Can anyone tell me this answer?
RDP.
RDP. Na.
RD.
Use it to connect to the server remotely.
Okay. Can you repeat the question?
Before SQL Server 2005, we are going to
Okay.
use one tool. We used one
Query analyzer and something.
Very good. Query analyzer. So before Management Studio, we have one tool called Query Analyzer. So why? Because if you go to some big organizations, still people are using SQL Server 2000 also in their environments. So by using Query Analyzer only, you can connect to SQL Server 2000 instances. Okay,
It's
so
only prompt, right? So command prompt, right?
it's not a command prompt. It's initial stage of the GUI only. It's also GUI option. Okay, but from 2005 it was completely GUI, but in 2000 not completely GUI, but kind of GUI. Okay, so that is also a GUI only. That is also like SSMS only, but very old interface, not as effective as SSMS. Okay, so we used a Query Analyzer tool to connect to SQL Server 2000 instance. So
mandatory, bro.
See, it's not. If you have Management Studio, you can connect to any version of SQL Server, including 2000 also.
Okay.
If you don't have Management Studio, then it is mandatory.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought this is optional.
Which one is optional?
This one, query language. Query analyzer.
Query analyzer is not optional. For 2000 instance, I am saying only for 2000. Don't worry about the query analyzer. That will work only for 2000, SQL Server 2000 instance. Remaining all other instances, we use Management Studio only.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, bro. Got it.
No problem. So let me log into this machine, guys. Let me check the IP address of this machine. CMD. So what is the command to check?
IP config.
What is the command to check?
IP
config.
configuration.
What is the command to check?
TMD.
What
Server
is the
name.
command
Server.
to check server name? Those who said IP
Server.
config,
Server
raise
name.
your
Host
hand.
name. Host name.
Server.
Those who said IP
No,
config,
no.
raise your hands. No, I didn't complete my question.
No, sir. First I said configuration.
Three or four,
Last time server.
no, 3 or 4
Second.
people said IP config without completing my question. So you have to take the assignment.
You said like what is the command to check? You are going to check the IP address.
No. Already you experienced it, right? The same thing. Okay, this time okay, no problem. Right, okay, so what is the command to check the server name, guys? It's a host name.
Yes.
Okay, using host name you can check the server name, or else another way is go to this PC properties and then you can check there also. You can see the server name there also. Okay, and 1 minute, why it is taking time. Yeah. So what we can do, guys, now, so we'll discuss about the management studio, some of the options we'll discuss about the management studio and all. Then we'll proceed with the database creation. Okay, how to create the database and all. Right, in the meantime, let me adjust this bar. You cannot see array. Right, so just hit Windows button, then type SS. You can see management studio, guys. One management studio is enough to connect to all the instances. No need to install different management studio for different servers and all. Management studio is also a shared tool. Okay, so you can install one management studio for the whole Windows machine. By using this management studio, you can connect to all the instances of any versions, guys. We have some limitations. Okay, let me tell you this one. This is very important. Why? Because sometimes you are going to be confused because of this. SSMS can be used to connect to the to connect to what, guys?
Instance.
SQL server.
Running SQL instances. If the instance is not running, you cannot connect. You will get error. Okay. Only one copy of SSMS is enough per Windows machine. Okay, please be muted in case we don't have questions. Only one copy of SSMS is enough for Windows machine. So what are the challenges are there with the SSMS, guys? I'll tell you. For example, see, in the SSMS you can connect to any version of the SQL server. If you're having 2005, 2000 also, if your instance is 2000 instance, you can connect in latest. 1 minute, what happened to this guy? Hello? Hello? Fine, okay. So latest in the latest SQL Server Management Studio also you can connect the old instances. Means we are using latest Management Studio is 18.12, right, or else 18. Okay, in the Management Studio 18 also you can connect SQL Server 2000 instance, SQL Server 2005 instances, 8 instances, 9 instance, 2008 R2 instances, 12, 14, 16, 17, 19. You can connect any instance in the latest version of Management Studio. This is the scenario. For example, I have SQL Server 2012 Management Studio. Okay, I have 2002 SQL Server 2012 Management Studio, guys. Can I connect my 2019 instance in 2012 SSMS?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
The answer is yes, guys. You can connect.
Yes.
No issues. But the challenge here, one challenge is there. What is the challenge? If your SSMS version is lower version, and if you are like connecting higher version of instance, if you are connecting higher version of instance in the lower version of Management Studio, higher version features you cannot see in the lower version Management Studio. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
Clear.
If you are
Sir.
connecting lower version, if you are connecting lower version instance in the higher version Management Studio, there are no challenges. If you are connecting lower version instance in the higher version Management Studio, there are no challenges. But if you are connecting higher version instance in the lower version Management Studio, then you have some challenges. What are the challenges? What are the features are there in the higher version? Those features won't work in the 2012 SSMS, lower version SSMS. Example I'll give, guys. Example I'll give. If you see here, if you connect to the instance, you can see one feature called always on feature. It's an excellent feature, guys. Nowadays most of the companies will use this always on feature. Okay, always on high availability feature. It was introduced in the era of 2012, guys. In SQL Server 2012 version, this feature has been introduced. So if you are using 2008 SSMS, 2008 SSMS, in the 2008 SSMS you connected to 2012 instance or 2014 instance or 19 instance. In the 2008 SSMS you connected to 2019 instance, SQL instance, you cannot see this high availability feature, you cannot see this always on feature. Is it clear, guys? If you are connecting lower version instance in the higher version Management Studio, there are no challenges. First thing, is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
If you are connecting higher version instance in the lower version Management Studio, then higher version features you cannot see in the lower version Management Studio. Got it?
Okay, sir.
Bro, can you repeat one more time, please? Don't mind.
Tell me what you understand. Tell me.
Yeah, just a little bit confusing both points.
See, it's not, nothing is confused here. Lower version, if you are using lower version instance and you are connected to higher version SSMS, no problem. So forget about it. Okay.
Okay.
But if your instance is higher version, imagine 2019 instance is there. That instance you connected in the 2008 SSMS.
Okay.
You connected 2019 in the 2008 SSMS. So whatever new features are there in the 2019 that you cannot see in the 2008
Oh.
SSMS.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
Okay, bro. I thought it will not support.
No, it will support. You can connect. No problem. You can connect any version into any version instance in any version of Management Studio. But higher to lower, higher version features you cannot see lower version Management Studio. This point, at least remember this point. Higher version features you cannot see in the lower version Management Studio. That's it.
Okay, bro.
Clear, everyone, guys? Right. So this is one point that we have to discuss. Right, this is an agent service. This has to be started. It should be up and running. Right click. If the service is stopped, you can right click and you can start the service like this. There are other ways also. You can use command prompt also. You can use different ways to start the service. But generally we will use this service. We can start it from management services.msc. You can start it from command prompt. So different ways are there, but you can start it from management studio also. Okay, fine. Now it is already started, right? So you can see stop button, restart button. We'll discuss about the agent in the automation classes, nothing to worry. So now I connected to this instance, right? Now let me connect to one more instance. Okay, what I'm going to do now, I'll simply give dot. So let me connect. So where is my server name, guys? Where is my server name? Where is the server name? I just simply gave the dot, but I'm able to connect. So in the morning class, we discussed one important point. If the server name is wrong, then you cannot connect to the instance. But I just gave simple dot. Still I'm able to connect to the instance. Why?
That also same existing, right? I thought existing server.
No.
But here taking total same server name, same, both are same.
Okay.
It is another name.
Above first one and
Another name
second.
for a default instance.
Very good. Okay. So dot is another name for computer name. Dot is an alternative for computer name in the Windows concept. Dot, just dot, is an alternative for computer name. So instead of typing whole computer name, you can simply give dot also. It will also connect to default instance only. You might ask one question, sir, you have installed only one instance, but I can see two instances here. How that is possible?
Dot.
How that is possible, guys? Actually, I don't have two instances. Dot is the another name of default instance. So this is also default instance. This is also default instance only. So it's not like I have two instances in this machine. Only one instance. See, for example, okay. So I have a lot of names. Okay. So some people will call me as a Shanmukh. Some people will call me personal. My parents and all will call me Chinna. So different names are there. Officially, legal name is different. Okay, and friends will call different names, some nicknames and all. In the same way, dot is a nickname for computer name. Clear, guys? So I don't have two instances, only one instance. I just connected the same instance using different name. Is it clear? Right. This default instance having some other names also. What is that? Local. Local is also computer name only, so you have to give local like this. Okay, local in the brackets you have to give. So this also refers computer name only. One more name is also there, local host. This also refers computer name only. So if you see here, you might feel that I have four instances. No, actually only one instance connected in using four different names. I have only one instance connected using four different names. Clear? Why? Because sometimes your colleagues will use all these names. You cannot ask, hey, where is the server name? I don't see the server name. If he is connected with the dot, you cannot confuse and you cannot ask him, hey, where is the server name and all. Dot is another name of computer name. You should know this. Okay, so in the same way, local host, different names they will give. Still 2-3 more extra ways is 2-3 extra more ways are there to connect to the default instance. But mostly people will use either they will use computer name, or they will use dot, or they will use local, or they will use local host. Okay, so all refers to your computer name only. Now I am going to disconnect other three instances. Disconnect, and disconnect, guys. This is the refresh button. Very important button. This is very important button. Whatever you do in the SQL server, you have to refresh. Like how we'll do refresh in our Windows machine. Right click refresh will do, right? So how we'll do the refresh in the same way. Whatever you do, you created one database, refresh it, then only you can see the database in the databases list. You created one login, you gave some permissions, you did something. So just refresh it. If you refresh,
Sir,
yes, please.
sir, I have a doubt.
Please.
In the previous class, you said that almost all in every environment they use default instance, right? For
Yes.
server.
Yes.
So it won't be any effect, right? If you use dot or local
No
host.
problem at all. No problem at all. See,
Okay, sir. Okay.
if you might have 2-3 names, is it going to they are going to create any problem to you?
No, sir. No, no.
No, right?
I
In the same
correct,
way,
correct.
it don't create any problem.
Sir, one question is, in the environment, most of the cases they will use default only, right? Default instance only.
Default only. Mostly they will use default only.
When we install, suppose if I got a job and they want to, I mean, they told us to install a SQL Server instance in our PC, then we have to ask them, or they will
See,
give you or start like that.
actually there is a process. This we have already covered during the
Yes, sir.
installation.
Yes, sir. Worksheet, a balance
So
sheet, or something.
yes,
You have
balance
to.
sheet. Okay, not that sheet. The build sheet.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Build sheet.
in the
Sorry, sorry.
build sheet, no problem. In the build sheet, they will mention the instance name and all. It's not like you and I going to decide what is the instance name.
Okay,
Okay,
sir. And service service
they
account also they only provide.
everything they will provide. Everything they will
Okay, sir.
provide. Yeah, if they
Okay, sir.
don't provide, you have to ask them. You cannot proceed.
Okay, sir. Okay. .NET framework we have to
.NET
pre.
framework will be installed by default.
Yeah, sir.
See,
Windows team, and we have
that's the
to.
default work of the Windows team. They will install and they will give it to you. Why? Because .NET is mandatory not only for SQL servers. Lot of other Windows applications also .NET is mandatory. So by
Okay, sir.
default they will install .NET framework. So nothing to
Okay,
worry.
sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, fine guys. So management studio, right? We are discussing. Yeah, whatever you do in the server, you have to refresh it. Then you can see the changes. Sometimes we'll forget. Like we will create a database, but you cannot see the database in the list. So just refresh it. We thought that might be what happened and all, why it is not coming and all. We thought there is an issue from server side. Whatever you do, you have to refresh it. Okay. So these are the extra tools, guys, extra options and also slowly we'll discuss. Not all, but whatever the DBA will use, all the options we are going to discuss slowly, guys. This is a plus symbol. If you expand, you can see other options, extra options and all, and this is the minus symbol. So if you click it, it will shrink, guys. Okay, so like this, you can see lot of options, guys. Okay, lot of options you can see. Now, what I am going to do. So in the management studio, generally, whatever challenges are there, guys, what challenges are there? Higher version you can connect in the lower version of management studio, but higher version features you cannot see lower version of management studio, guys. And management studio is a shared feature. One management studio is enough in the whole Windows machine, so no need to install multiple management studios and all. If you install extra management studio, unnecessarily it will create a load on the server, guys. Okay, so now you know, right? So in case you want to connect to instance, either you can use this connect button or else click on this connect button again and you can choose database engine again. You can give the server name and all, and you can still connect to the instance. This button is a disconnect button. If you want to filter anything here, you can use this filter option. I want to filter some databases and all, so you can, if you choose this, okay, you can filter. Now you don't have, like for example, let me go to this tables. Okay, model, you don't see any tables and all. Let me okay, let me go to this tables, system tables. So if you see here, if you choose system tables, this filter is enabled. Okay, filter like in the Azure and all will do shopping, right? Azure, Myntra will do shopping, or else Flipkart, Amazon will do shopping and will filter it. Will filter it as per the condition. In the same way, you can also use this filter button. Whatever options. Say for example, now I want to filter only. See here, for example, I can see lot of tables, guys. Now I want to search one table. Okay, so what is the table name? You know the table name is backup set. Where it is? So just right click, you can apply the filter settings. What is the table name? Name contains backup set. Out of all these tables, I want to check this backup set table. So I cannot search one by one. This is backup set, like 100 and 200 tables or more tables will be there. I cannot say search one by one, right? I can simply apply the filter. So only that table will be filtered, guys. Filtered, not removed. Sir, I cannot see other tables. Are those deleted? Are the tables deleted? No, just filtered. In the same way, like in the SGO, you are going to filter it, right? So jacket, men's jacket, you will filter it and you will filter double XL. So you can see only double XL size. You can see only XL size. Whatever it is, you are going to filter it, right? So in the same way, it will filter the results. This option will filter the results. If you apply the filter, only that particular result you can see. How to remove it? Just filter, remove the filter. You can see other tables again. Okay guys, that is the use of this filter. And when you stop the SQL Server, this stop button will be highlighted. You can see as of now it was grayed out. When you stop the SQL Server, you can see this was highlighted, guys. And if you see play button here, the instance is up and running. A small play button you can see, right? Small play button. So the instance is up and running, guys. Fine, right? Now I want to run one query. I want to see the version of the SQL Server. I know that it is a 2019 version. Okay, but I want to see in the results. I want to run one query and I want to see the output, whether it is exactly 2019 or not. How to do that? You have to run one query. Where to run the query? How to run the query? Right click here. You can choose this new query option. This is one option, one way. Select the instance, choose new query. This is another way. Select the instance, hit Ctrl plus N. Ctrl plus N. Hit Ctrl plus N. You can see one query window will open now. Any questions, Ravanti?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, so when you click, just right click new query, or select the instance, new query, or shortcut is Ctrl plus N also will give you new query. I'm going to increase the font, guys. You can see very small font. Okay, select and all. You can see small font, right? Let me increase the font to 200. Okay, now you can see. Right. So now I want to see the version of the SQL Server, guys. How to check it? You can check right click properties, but you cannot see the complete version. Okay, you can only see Windows Server version and you can see edition. Okay, so now I want to see version and edition of the SQL Server using command. What is the command, guys? Can anyone tell me command to see the version and edition of the SQL Server?
Select at that version.
Select at the rate version. Okay, select means select is a command or keyword. Select is a keyword which will help you to read the results. Select is a keyword which will help you to read the results. So I have to use keyword. If you can see blue color means blue color text will be keywords, guys. Keywords. Okay, select at the rate version. Just type version. Don't give any spaces. If you give spaces, okay, so is it going to work? Let's see now. Okay, so now I want to check whether this query, before executing the query, I want to check whether this query is right or wrong. How to check? Select the whole query and you can see one tick mark, right? Parse button. This is called parse button. Just click on this tick mark. It is saying must declare the scalar variable at the rate. Means it is not saying, hey, there is a space between at the rate and version. It don't tell the direct error, guys. It will tell like this message in 137 level 15 state 2 line 1. So if you want to see which line and all, here if you select, you can see which line it is. If you select here, the column will be different. Okay, so like this, if you select here, you can see which column, which line and all, everything you can see. So now there is a mistake in my command, guys. Or sometimes you can see like this, instead of version I just mentioned like this. Okay, so you will get a red, actually you will get a red line under here, guys. Okay, under the text you will get a red line. That is also one more way to find whether any errors are there or not. Okay, now select edit version. Now see whether this is correct or not. Click on this parse button. It will tell you command completed successfully. If you see command completed successfully in the output, means that is a correct command. Now I want, this is just a, this button is a parse button to check whether queries are right or wrong. That's it. This will only check the syntax. This will only check the syntax errors. Syntax means what? This is the syntax. A query you can call it as a syntax. It will only search a syntax errors, means commas are missing, spaces are there, spelling mistakes are there. Okay, so these things are called syntax errors. Any unnecessary commas, any unnecessary spaces, any spelling mistakes in the commands, these are all called syntax errors. This will only search syntax errors, guys. Now I want to execute this command, right? Click on execute button. This is execute button. This is execute button. You can execute in many ways. Select the query, hit the execute button one way, select the query, hit F5 button. F5 is also execute only. Okay, F5 is also execute only. That is another way. Select the query, hit alt X is also one more way. Select the query, hit alt X is one more way, guys. Okay, so by using all these ways you can execute queries. It's your wish. You can either click on this execute button, you can use F5 button, you can use alt X. I prefer to use alt X. It's very simple. Okay, I feel that alt X is a simple shortcut for me to execute. Now you can see the output, right? Microsoft SQL Server 2017.
Sir,
Okay,
what the shortcut?
Alt plus X. Alt plus
Alt.
X. Okay, so this is SQL Server 2017, right? So now you can see Microsoft SQL Server 2017 here. And I told you right earlier, the first copy, this is the first copy. Actually, we installed the first copy. In this server, this is the first copy, right? So RTM you can see, SQL Server 2017 RTM. And same 14.0.1000.169. So we have extra text also. Now tell me guys, what is the command? So to see the version, I used selected version. Now tell me what is the command to see the edition. Just guess it. What is the command to see edition of the SQL Server?
I guess select and added addition.
Remove version, put addition, I think.
Select at
Yeah,
the
it's addition.
I think.
Instead
Select
of version.
addition.
Yes, I think. I got
I
it.
guess.
Okay, let's try then. Okay. Now you can tell me, without executing itself, you can tell me whether this is right or wrong.
This is wrong.
Okay, so if you see here, must declare scalar variable means, okay, fine, it's not detecting this command. Just execute it. What happened? Same error you will get it. So there is no such query. In the select edit version itself, you can find the edition of the SQL Server. If you execute it, now if you double click on this last column, you can see Microsoft SQL Server 2017 RTM 14.0.1000.169 x64-bit. It was introduced in August 22, 2017 and copyrights Microsoft Corporation. And you can see here, right? Developer edition. So there is no such command selected edition. Using selected version, you can find the version of the SQL Server and you can find the edition of the SQL Server. Clear guys? Any issues, any doubts here?
Yes, clear.
Can I double?
Sorry?
Can I give double click regarding developer edition?
Double click.
I got version confusion on edition.
See, wait. Okay, what happened? First thing, I'll recommend you to don't practice parallelly with me. Don't practice. I don't encourage you to practice. You will miss this important things and all. You don't know now where to double click.
No, I am not practicing. Just I saw. I confused on second point.
What is there to confuse, Saidarao? You have to double click on the last in the column. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I am asking, bro.
That's just here. You have to double click. Okay. I'm not sure why. What is the confusion point here? Just double click on it.
Okay.
Or just expand this column. Okay. How much you want, you can expand.
Okay, bro. Okay, got it. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, no problem. Fine guys, so by using selected version, we can find the version of the SQL Server and we can find the edition of the SQL Server also. Okay, so this command will use to find the version and edition of the SQL Server, guys. Right, fine. So now what I'm going to do, what I can do now, let's create one database. Okay. So before creating the database, first of all, you should know what is database, right? Then we can see database creation is just 1 minute work. In less than 1 minute, you can create the database. The command is create database name, something like batch 47. When you execute, it will create a command, guys. Just 3 keywords. Create what you want to create database. What is the database name? You should give one name, right? So every database will have one name, right? So I have to give the database name, so which is batch 47. This is the database name, but you should know what is database first of all. So you should know what will be there in the databases. So let me tell you a physical hierarchy and logical hierarchy. So when you create database, physically what will happen? Physically means you can see with your eyes, right? Physical means you can see with your eyes. Logically means logically it will exist. Okay. So generally in the servers, databases will be there. In the servers, databases will be there. In one server, you can create multiple databases. In one SQL server, you can create multiple databases. So in the servers, generally databases will be there. Database means it's a container. Okay, it's a place where tables are going to be created, guys. You can treat it as a container where tables will be created. Database is a container where tables will be created. All the data and all will be dumped. Okay. So now in the server, we will have databases. If you go inside the databases, what we can see? If you go inside the databases, you can see file groups and log file. I'll show you guys, nothing to worry. You can see, if you go inside the databases, you can see file groups and log file. So if you go inside the file groups, what will happen? You can see files. You can see files. If you go inside the files, we have 2 types of files, guys. Data files, log files. In data files, we have again 2 types. MDF file, master data file, and NDF file, next data file, or new data file. Next or new data file, whatever it is. Next or new data file. I'll show you, don't worry. Sir, if I go inside this data files also, what will be there? Extents will be there. If I go inside this extents, what will be there? Pages will be there. So when you create a table, it will sit on a page. Okay. Table is a logical entity which will be created on a physical object called pages, guys. So when you create database, inside database you will have file groups and then log file. I'll explain about this log file architecture, okay, later. And if you go inside the file groups, you will have data files. 2 types of data files are there: master data file MDF and NDF, next data file or new data file. If you go inside MDF or NDF files, you can see extents. I'll tell you what is this extent and all. So if you go inside the extents, you can see pages, guys. You can see pages. This is how the physical hierarchy will be there. Physical structure will be there. Then what is logical structure? Logically, how they are going to be organized? Logically, in servers, databases will be there. In databases, schemas will be there. In schemas, tables will be there. All these objects will be created, okay, in these files, pages, extents, guys. Nothing to worry. So I'll show you while creating database. I'll show you. So now I want to create a database, right? So before creating a database, you can see here some system databases. You can see master, model, MSDB, tempdb. If you go to any database properties, you can see how many files are there in the database. Total how many files are there, guys? How many files are there?
2 files.
Two files. Yes, this is the data file. You can see data file and you can see one log file. So when you are creating a database will be created with minimum 2 files. These 2 files are mandatory for any database, guys. These 2 files are mandatory for any database. Without these 2 files, no database will be existed. So when you create any database, even system databases also will exist. 2 files will exist per system data for each system database. If you go to any system database, master, model, you can see 2 files. First file, second file. If you want to add, you can still add the files using add button. So like this, if you go to any database, you can see two files, guys. One is data file, second one is log file. Both are important. I'll tell you. Okay, so how the data will come, how it will be loaded inside the database, I'll tell you. Okay, nothing to worry as of now. Yes, Shiva, tell me.
Yes, Amuk, I just want to know that like why we should create this database.
Which database?
Like as you are just teaching us create a database. So I just want to know like why and how. Like
See,
you.
how I'll tell you. Why? Because we are having this much of discussion just to understand what is a database. Once you are clear what is database, then I'll show you how to create a database. So don't worry about it.
Okay.
Why means what is the purpose? You tell me. Till now we discussed something, right? So tell
No,
me.
yeah, that is right. But the thing is, as you said, the incident like here, so the files automatically the files will be in that database, or like we should create it from our side. I didn't understand this thing. That's why.
No, forget about it. Forget. While creating, you will
Okay.
get the clarity. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Any other
Thank
questions?
you.
No problem. Any questions, guys?
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, just now you explained about new file, no? Creating a new file.
Yeah.
You can add it more files, right?
Yeah.
Like when we are creating a database, like suppose college database we have created or any database, sir.
Okay.
So what is the necessity of adding more files, sir?
Good question. I'll tell you. This also we'll discuss.
Okay.
Okay. No problem. Any other questions, guys? The answer is simple for your question. Okay. So, for example, you just recharge your phone with a 15 GB of data. Okay, 15 GB. Now, when you will go for the next recharge generally, in what scenarios you will go for next recharge?
After the expiry of current recharge.
Current recharge, or
if we every time when we get more.
If the recharge is done, it completed, that data is completed, the 15 GB is completed. Okay, then we'll recharge again, right?
Using more.
Right. If you use more, then definitely that will be completed at one point of time. It will be completed again. You have to buy one more pack. Okay, again you have to recharge it the same way. Imagine one database is there. So imagine that database is having some data like 100 GB data. So now lot of data is coming from the application. How the data will come to the database? From the application only, right? So that file is full. Now what you have to do? Whatever files that are there till now, what are the files that are hosting the data till now? That file is full. What you will do now? My file is full, I don't allow any connections, I don't want any data. You cannot tell to the customer, right? He's giving business to us, he's giving money to us. Of course you have to create one more file and you have to start inserting data in that another file, right? So if the files are full, then generally we'll add more files. Is it clear? Is it clear? Someone asked, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two files. Log file generally will never full. I'll tell you what is the logic in the log file, but data file will be full. Okay, so if the data file is full at one point of time, it will be full. So if the data file is full, application cannot send data to the database, so application will be down. So it shouldn't be like that, right? So you have to keep adding the files, depends upon the requirements. Sometimes we'll add the storage, sometimes we'll add the file. So it's very common, if one data file is full, then we'll add one more data file, or is going to full, we'll add one more data file.
That means this data file will be of fixed size, sir.
Data file, of course it's a fixed size only, but where all these data files will be stored?
Database.
Okay, agreed. Okay, database. Where this database will be stored?
Pages, sir.
No. You are going inside. I'm not asking you to go inside. Generally, these are files, right? Files should be stored in the OS level, right? Agreed or not?
Yeah.
Any file, you have a notepad, you have a Word document, you have a video, you have a movie, you have a photo. It's a file.
Yes, sir. Yes,
It
sir.
should be
In hard disk it is.
Correct. Very good.
Yeah.
It should be stored in one drive, right?
Okay.
So these files are storing which drive?
C drive.
C drive. How much free space is there in the C drive?
Okay. 24 GB. 8 GB, sir.
8 GB only.
8
So
okay.
if this file is full, this master database data file is full, as this file is created in the C drive, this C drive, it will keep using, the master database will keep using the C drive until there is a free space.
Okay.
If the drive is full,
we have to create it in another drive, or you have to take a
or
we have to empty free space.
You can extend the drive.
Yeah.
But a drive is having one limitation. It cannot extend more than 2 terabytes.
Okay.
Each drive cannot extend more than 2 terabytes. And creating huge drives also will create performance issues.
Okay.
So that's why if the drive is full, don't think, sir, if my 25 GB is full, again can I create one more file in another drive? No. First you will try to increase the drive size. Still, if the drive is not increasing, finally you will add one more file in another drive.
Okay.
Got the point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we'll discuss, no problem, guys. So whenever you create a database, you should remember one point, that whenever you create a database, two files will be created by default. One is data file, second one is log file. This is clear, right?
Yes.
Fine. So now what we can do, just a minute. Right, fine. So what we can do, I'll start creating the database, guys. Okay, so we'll try to understand small things. How to create a database? We can create any object, guys. We'll call databases as an object, tables as an object. Okay, so in the SQL server, generally everything will call as an objects only. Your databases are objects. Your Your databases are objects. So what is the max database MDF file size? So max database MDF file size, I guess it would be 16 terabytes. 16 terabytes. So up to 16 TB you can create. Okay, Monica. Max database size, that is max database size will support 16 terabytes. So in that most of the what is that partnership will be data file only. Log file won't use much, only it will use depends upon the usage only. I'll tell you the log file, okay, how it will work. Fine, or else let me explain you this concept so that you will be clear, guys. So why we will have data file and log file? Why two files, sir? Why can't we manage in single file? We have data file and log file, right? Log file is a temporary storage, guys, like a RAM. Data file is a permanent storage, like a disk. Okay, data file is a permanent storage, log file is a temporary storage, guys. So why we will have log file, I'll tell you. For example, you are inserting 1 lakh transactions. You are inserting 1 lakh transactions. Now 100 transactions inserted, 200 inserted, 1000 inserted, 2000 inserted, 20,000 inserted, 95,000 transactions inserted, 99,000 transactions inserted. Suddenly server is shut down, guys. Someone restarted my server. What will happen? In the process itself, you are inserting some, you means the application data is coming from the application. So out of 1 lakh it inserted 199,000 transactions, guys. Still 1000 more transactions are there, only 1000 pending transactions are there. So before that someone restarted my server, without checking someone restarted my server, or else server itself restarted automatically, or server is down because of some other issues. Then Windows team checked that and they found there is an issue and they fixed that issue. Now server is up and running. So what will happen once the server is back? So here whatever transaction, imagine what is the command to insert the record, insert into table name. Imagine my table name is students values. Okay, so imagine 1 comma Mahesh comma, okay, strings you have to give like this, guys. In a single quotes you have to give string name, characters and all. Okay, so imagine he's a student, right? So like 1 Mahesh from Hyderabad. Okay, from Hyderabad. Close it. So this is called one transaction, guys. This is called a transaction. This is called a transaction. In this transaction, this is the data, only this part. So when you run this query, what will happen? When you run this query, first the transaction will goes to log file. Log file is an entry file, guys, entry gate kind of thing. Every transaction has to go to database through log file only. Log file is an entry gate. First this transaction will be inserted in this log file. Then we have one concept called commit. Commit means save permanently. Save permanently, commit. Committed transactions, uncommitted transactions. If the transaction is committed, what will happen, you know? Whatever, see, when you run this query, the whole transaction will be inserted into the log file, first thing. If the transaction is committed, only this data will be moved to the data file. In the data file table will be there, right? Only these values will be moved to the data file. Just a minute, guys. Guys, 1 minute, please, 1 minute. Fine. Okay. Right. So, whenever you are inserting some records, at what time class will start? Fine, guys. Okay. So try to understand very simple concept. As of now, I'm not going too deep, just very basic. Okay, we are discussing. So whenever you insert any transaction, okay, so what will happen? The whole transaction first it will go to log file. Why? Because log file is an entry gate. I told you, right? For every database, like how our main door is there. If anyone wants to come to our house, first of all they have to come through the main door only, right? Main gate only, right? So log file is an entry file kind of thing. So every transaction first should go to log file only. So definitely that log file, it will go to the log file. So based on the committed and uncommitted transactions, so commit means what will happen, guys? The transaction is committed, only the data will be moved from this log file to data file. First the whole transaction will go to the log file. Once the transaction is completed, only data will be moved to the data file. Only this part will be moved to the data file, guys. This is a temporary storage, this is a permanent storage. Once the file is moved to the permanent storage, means disk, guys, it will return to the disk. All these values will be written to the disk. Disk means hard disk. So if you restart the server, whatever contents are there in the hard disk, they are not going to be erased. You know, right? You are storing lot of photos and all in your laptop. If you restart your laptop, are they going to be deleted automatically? The files, photos, are they going to be deleted automatically? No, right? Disk is a permanent storage. It won't be deleted until you delete. It won't be deleted, guys. Clear, everyone? Is it clear, guys? Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, clear, sir.
So once the data is moved to the data file permanently, then why I need this transaction here? I don't know. I don't need this transaction here, right?
Yes.
Until the data, my primary goal is the data has to be written to the data file. till the data, see for example, I am inserting 1 lakh transactions. All the 1 lakh transactions I cannot insert directly to the data file, right, at a time. It will take some time to write the data, right, at least. It might take 5 to 10 minutes, right? Or else imagine it might take only 1 minute, right? In the meantime, if my system is down, if my server is down, if my database is crashed, if someone restarted my server, something might happen in the next second. We don't know what will happen. We cannot guess also. So until the data is moved to the data file permanently, the transaction will be stored in the log file. Once the data moved to the data file permanently, the transaction will be deleted from the log file.
There is log file is in hard drive, sir?
Yes, it will use hard disk. Very good question.
Okay.
It will use hard disk, but not on a permanent basis.
Okay.
It will use temporarily, means it will mainly it will try to use the RAM. RAM is a what I can say, a temporary
Primary
storage,
storage,
right?
okay.
Temporary storage. So first it will try to write to the RAM, and then from there it will write to the disk, guys.
Then if there is a sudden chances of getting power off, then how can we retrieve this log?
That's what I'll tell you.
Log file?
Yeah, it hasn't been completed. Okay, it hasn't been completed. We have a lot of things to discuss. Okay, this is clear, right, till now?
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
until the data is going to be moved to data file, it will be stored in the log file. Once the data is completely moved to the data file, the transaction will be deleted. So log file is a temporary storage. Okay, so that's why log file will be what I can say, reusable. Every time it will be reusable. Now let's come to this point. Now 99,000 transactions I'm inserting, guys. Okay, here we have one important point. You are sending 20,000 rupees to me. So what are the chances you are sending 20,000 rupees to me? What would be the outcome, guys? Either the transaction should be successful or it should be failed, right? Agreed? It's not
Yes.
like partially successful, right? Means 10,000 I am going to get it, 10,000 will be there in your account, right? It should be fully committed or it should be cancelled. Agreed, guys? So now when I am inserting 1 lakh transactions, during this process, at some point if the server is restarted or something happened to the server, what will happen? There is a concept called rollback, roll forward. Rollback, roll forward. Rollback means undo. Roll forward means redo. Means what will happen at 99,000, suddenly someone restarted server. What will happen, guys? As per the log file architecture, all the 99 transactions first will be undo, cancel. All the transactions will be cancelled first. Then it will redo all the transactions again. It will rewrite all the transactions from transaction 1 onwards. Again it will rewrite. Why? Because for the safety purpose. For the safety purpose. That's how the database will work. Any database will work like this, in this concept only. Redo undo phase is very important for every database, guys. So why my log file is there? To store, to all these things will be done in log file only, this redo process, undo process. But when this redo and undo during critical situations like crash situations, or if the server is restarted, or if the database is offline, or if the Windows machine itself is down, so during this kind of situations, generally it will follow this rule, guys. To do this processing, we should need one temporary file, that is your log file. Is it clear, guys? So roll back, roll forward, redo, undo is very important for every database. Okay, so if everything goes well, no issues, but something goes wrong, we cannot expect, right? At some point of time, suddenly that machine might be down, or someone might restart the server, not sure. During that time, he don't check what and all transactions are running, he suddenly will restart it. So in that case, my transactions, my data cannot be deleted, right? You are buying one product. See, now again Flipkart started some sales, some special offers are there, special offers are running. Now they started like these offers and all. Now people started buying lot of things. Of course, earlier also they will buy, but now more people will buy if you have offers and all. So per minute, don't know how many transactions will be completed. 100 people might buy something, or 1000 people might buy something. All these 1000 records has to be committed, guys. Then only it will be stored in the data file permanently. Once it is committed, it will be moved to the data file. So if something happened, okay, somehow like the database is offline or Flipkart server is restarted, guys, then what will happen? So whatever data is there till now, that will be deleted, right? So whatever transactions you did till now, those transactions might be deleted. So not sure, you cannot even check the status of your product, you cannot even check the status of your orders and all. Very difficult, right? So all the databases will run on the same setup, guys. Redo phase, undo phase. So log file is a temporary file. Until the data is going to be moved to data file, the log file will store the transactions in the log file will store the transactions in the log file, guys. SQL Server will store the transactions in the log file. Once the data is moved from log file to data file, once the transaction is committed means control S. In simple words, commit means control S, save kind of thing. Once the transaction is committed, then the data will be moved to the data file permanently. Once this is moved, we don't need the transaction. The transaction will be deleted from the log file. This is how the log file will be reusable. If 1 lakh transactions are there, 1 lakh transactions first it will go to log file. Out of this 1 lakh, if 20,000 are committed, it will go to the data file. Once the whole batch is committed, then the same transactions will be deleted from the log file. This is how it will work. Sir, who will save the transactions then? Automatically, SQL Server itself will run commit commands. So there is a small concept called checkpoint kind of thing. So checkpoint will run every time, and it is going to move the transactions from your log file to data file, guys. So this is the use of the data file and log file. This is the main purpose of the data file and log file. Log file is a temporary file. Until the data is moved to the data file, it will store the transactions in the log file. Once the data is moved, the transactions means committed transactions will be deleted from the log file. Is it clear? Any questions, any doubts?
Sir, this checkpoint.
Forget about it. Don't run into those kind of things. At least now for basics. Why? Because a lot of non-technical people are there. If you start checkpoint, of course we'll discuss it later. But if you start checkpoint now, others will confuse at this point. Okay.
No, sir. Actually, I didn't get it. Whether it works on time basis
forget about it. Now you know the use of the log file or data file. Forget about checkpoint. Okay, we'll discuss it later. We have another session. Till now this is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, log file, what is the use of the log file, what is the use of the data file? It's clear, right, everyone, guys?
Yeah.
At least basics. Log file is a temporary storage, data file is a permanent storage. Until the data is, yes, please.
Yeah, as you said, the log file, like there is this 99,000, like you said, 99,000, right? 1 lakh transaction should be there. If something happened for 99,000, so like once the 1 lakh will be completed, then the data will go to this data file, or how do we?
Once the 1 lakh is completed, then commit will run. Once the commit is there, then it will go to the data file. Okay, so sometimes commit will be there at the end of the 1 lakh transactions. Sometimes they will run in batches wise, 1000 transactions, one commit, 2000 transactions, one commit. Batch wise also they will run transaction wise also, commit will be there.
Okay, so once the commit will be done, then only it will go to data file.
Yes, then only it will go to data file.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. If you don't commit, it will be there in the log file only. The transaction won't go to the data file. If you commit, then only it will go to the data file.
Okay.
But you might ask one question, sir. If I run select query, whether I can see committed data or uncommitted data, right?
Yeah.
So can I read the data from the log file? Yes, yes, you can read it. So there is like a what I can say. What is that? There is one concept called as
Isolation levels, sir.
isolation levels. Yes, read committed, read uncommitted, repeatable reads. So this kind of isolation levels are there. But at this point, we don't touch those things. Okay, is this clear, everyone? This is the very basic thing, guys. Why log file? Why data file? Why we should have these two files? Everyone, is it clear? Any questions? Any questions, guys? Guys, is it clear? Not clear? Please.
Clear, sir. Clear.
Clear, bro.
Yes,
Clear.
sir.
Okay, done. So what you can do, just take a break, guys. Come back at 8:40, na? 3. Come back at 8:40, guys. Okay, come back at 8:40. We'll discuss other things. Okay, I'll show you how to create the database and all. I'll show you how to create the database and all, guys. Okay, just
Okay.
we'll be back at 8:40. Thank you, guys.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. Okay. So the log file size will be reusable. So today it might be 10 GB. Tomorrow it might be 100 GB. So if the data is committed, then again it will come back to 10 GB. But data file is not like that. Data file is not like that. So data file, if you are inserting the data file will keep increasing until and unless you delete the data from the table, then only the log file will be decreased. Generally, data file won't be resized. Generally, it will grow only. If anyone, okay, chalo, we don't want this table, then we'll delete all the data from this table. Then in that case, if you delete the data permanently, then the data file size will decrease. But until and unless if you don't delete the data from the data file size will keep increasing. Log file size is not like that. Log file today 1 GB, tomorrow 100 GB, then again after the data is completed, it will come back to 1 GB or 2 GB or 10 GB, guys. Is it clear at least a basic level? Guys, is it clear?
Yes. Yes.
Chalo, then we'll create the
Yes,
database
yes.
now. Okay. So let's concentrate on creating the database now. As of now, you don't see any user databases here. Let me refresh it. I can refresh now. I don't see any user database. Let's create one user database. Right click, new database. In two ways we can do, guys. Whatever activities are there in SQL Server, that we can do in two ways. One is GUI like this. Second one is command. I told you, right, SQL Server don't understand GUI. Then what is this, sir? Once you gave all the details, once you click OK, in the backend it will prepare query. That query will execute in the SQL Server. What is the use of the GUI? Only to prepare the query. Is it clear, guys? Once you gave the details, once you click OK, a query will be created. By the time the query will be executed on the database engine. Okay, so data, whatever screenshots you can see, whatever screens you can see, those are only for our like it is going to simplify to the users, guys. It is like it is going to simplify it, guys. It's a simplified process just to understand the GUI. But SQL Server don't know what is this GUI. This GUI will prepare a query in the backend. So now I'm going to create one database, right? What database? Let's create a batch 47 database. Generally, who is creating the database? Can anyone tell me who is creating the database now?
Model database.
Who? No. Forget about it. I'm not asking which database is responsible to create the database. Who is creating the database? My question is, who is creating the
Database administrator.
where I can say Shanmukh. Forget about it. Shanmukh and all. Of course, I only creating. But I logged in as one account, right? I am not logged in as Shanmukh. I used one account name and I logged into the SQL Server. So which account?
Administrator.
Administrator. You can see here computer name / administrator. So I logged in as administrator and I am creating the database. So who is creating? Administrator is creating. If you don't change the owner, who is creating the database, his name will come, guys. In my case, administrator, I just connected using administrator connection, right? So administrator will become the owner. Tomorrow, Joy connected to the SQL Server with his name and he is creating a database. So who is the default owner, guys?
Joy.
Joy did not change it, the owner, right? If you don't change it, if you keep it default, then who is creating the database? They will become the owners of the database, which is not correct practice. Joy can get better opportunity tomorrow. He might left the organization. His account will be deleted. Then this database won't work properly. So that's why it's not a proper practice to keep this as a default. We have to keep this as SA. SA is the permanent login. So no one can delete that login. You can see here SA. All the objects SA will be the owner. SA means sysadmin. Clear, guys? Fine.
Yes.
I told you, if you see here, just observe it clearly. I'm going to delete it again. See here what will happen. This is data file and log file, right? So see here what will happen. This will be deleted from here. If you are giving names, see here how it is going to type automatically. See, this is batch data file, batch underscore log file. I told you, right, data files here as per the physical hierarchy, where the data files will be created, guys, where the files will be created. Where files will exist.
In database.
The file groups.
Okay.
Files will exist in the file groups. File groups will exist in the databases. That's what we discussed, physical hierarchy. If you go like, you have to come from bottom. Pages will exist in the extents. Extents will exist in the data files. Data files will exist in the file groups. File groups will exist in the databases. Databases will exist in the servers, guys. This is very important. You have to like by heart whatever you want, you can do, guys. This is very important. You should know in databases file groups and files will be there. In file groups data files will be there. In data files extents will be there. I'll tell you what is extent, what is page and all, nothing to worry. In extents pages will be there, I'll tell you. So when you are creating a table, at the end of the day it will be created on a page, guys. I'll tell you. Right now this is a file, data file, right? So as per the definition, data files will exist in the file groups. What is this primary? Primary is a default file group. See here, you might ask, sir, what about log file? Log file doesn't belongs to any file group. Log file doesn't belongs to any file group, guys. If you see here, not applicable. Only data files belongs to file groups. Initially, what is the file size? Initial size of the file. Generally in the organization, for data file will give 1024 MB, means 1 GB. For log file will give 512 MB. It's not mandatory that you have to change it. You can keep it as it is 8 also, no problem. When the data is increasing, the files will increase automatically. This is the initial size, guys. Now tell me, once this 8 MB is completed, what will happen, guys? Once this 8 MB, now my data file size is 8 MB. Chalo, some data is inserted in this data file. 8 MB is full. What will happen?
Auto growth is there, right?
Yes. Now you can see one option called auto growth. Automatically it should grow, guys. Automatically it should grow. If you enable this auto growth option, you can see this option, browse option. So auto growth is enabled. If you uncheck this one, auto growth is none. None means what? There is no auto growth. Means what will happen? The file can't grow more than 8 MB, guys. Clear? Is it clear, everyone? If the file can't grow more than 8 MB, what will happen? The application cannot insert the records in the database. 8 MB is full, right? Where is the space to get the new transactions? There is no free space. So you will get errors. Data file is full and it won't allow the other transactions from the log file, guys.
Sir, anyone asks about error numbers also, sir?
No. See, basic numbers they will ask that we are going to discuss. Data file full error, log file full error, login failure error. These are some error numbers, but 99% no one will ask you. But still, if he still wants to check, then sometimes he might ask you what and all error numbers you have seen till now, like that they will ask you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So what will happen, guys, if auto growth is none? What will happen? It can't grow more than 8 MB. If you enable the auto growth, what will happen? If this 8 MB is full, then based on the auto growth option you choose. See, in percentage, now you gave 50 percentage. Now tell me guys, if 8 MB is full, what will be my current next file size? If 8 MB is full, I enabled the auto growth. What is the new file size?
16 MB.
Are you sure? Tell me guys, try it. Yes, I welcome you that you tried. Very good, excellent, but it's not a correct answer.
It will increase 50% in the current size.
Yes, tell me now. What is the next
12,
file size?
12 MB, sir. Next it will
That's
be
it.
12.
That's it. In percent, 50% I gave. So 8 of 50%, 4. 8 plus 4, 12 MB. If I gave 1024 MB here directly in megabytes, what is the new file size? If this 8 MB is full, what is the new file size, guys?
520 plus 8.
Huh? 520. Where is the 520?
1032.
Where is 520? Someone said 520. Where is 520? Can you see it 520?
No, sir.
So if this 8 MB is full, if this 8 MB is full, directly it will add 1024 MB.
One more MB.
Yeah,
One more
more
GB, right?
Yeah, 1024 MB plus 8 MB, 1032 MB.
Nine, right? 9.
9. What 9?
One more GB, right?
One more GB. Then
Yes.
what is this 999? 1024 plus 8. If this is full, 8 MB is full, then it is going to add one more GB or 1024 MB. Okay. So generally, sir, in the organization, how it will be? Mostly in megabytes, 1024 MB will be there. Mostly 99% is in megabytes, 1000. Means if my data file is full, you have to add one more GB. Up to, you can limit the size of the file. You can just keep it unlimited. Guys, data file should be unlimited only. It shouldn't be limited. If it is limited, to what level it will be? Okay, fine. So up to 4072 MB means what? 4 GB. Yeah, so it can grow up to 4 GB. It cannot grow more than 4 GB. You will get the errors. If you keep inserting data, you will get the errors. Clear guys, auto growth. What is the use of the auto growth? If my current file is full, it will grow automatically. So what is the calculation? Based on which calculation it will grow? Grow means you have to provide some numbers, right? Every time I cannot give number, right? Okay, chalo, this is 5, this is full. Okay, add 1 GB. I cannot give it. Hundreds and thousands of databases will be there. Thousands of databases, 1000 into 2 files, 2000 files will be there. Who will manage all these things? Automatically it will be done by SQL Server.
Yes. What is the unlimited? That is the file size.
Unlimited file size, yes, unlimited file size only.
I'm asking the file group size. Automatically it's growth, right? Up to how much?
File group size, there is no such number still now. Why? Because what is file group? What is a file group? What is the definition of file group?
Collection of files, I guess, sir.
Collection of data files, right?
Yes.
Collection of data files. How many data files you can create in one file group?
32767, I guess, sir.
32,767
Files,
files
I
you
guess.
can create. One file group supports 32,767 files. Okay, so the maximum database size, the MDF file size can grow up to 16 TB. It's not, there is no limit. Okay, file group this much only, files this much only. There is no limit. We have limitations in the disk. Okay, disk wise we have some limitations. Each drive can grow up to 2 terabytes, but data files wise, see, in one drive you can add one file. Imagine I have 10 drives. Okay, each drive is 2 TB. So in one drive you can add one file. Still, if your database is big, you can create one more file in another drive. It will also grow up to 2 TB. Still, if that is also full, you can add one more drive. So there is no specific size to file group. Please be muted. Nitin, any questions? Okay, fine. So So there is no specific size to the file group. Why? Because file group is a collection of data files. Okay, your file size might vary. One file might be some different size, another file might be some different size. So there is no specific size, but the whole database maximum SQL Server supports 16 terabytes of the database size. 2022, I don't know the latest version how much it is going to support, but till now database can support 16 terabytes, guys. Clear? Is it clear now? Guys, is it clear? Any doubts here? Okay, so I'm going to just enable the auto growth, guys. I'm just click OK. That's it. Okay, so this is like auto growth is enabled by 64 MB, which is unlimited. So unlimited means don't think I can create hundreds and hundreds of terabytes. There is a limitation, okay, to the database. Maximum database size is this, and again the limitations also will vary from edition to edition. Okay, the database size also will vary from edition to edition. What we can see, let's check the database size. Maximum database. No one will ask this question, guys. Okay, in SQL Server. What is this? 524 terabytes. Huh? Okay, maximum capacity. These numbers and all. If you want, how much? What is the biggest size? How much we can create? For this, you can. No need to remember, guys. Okay, you can just Google it. 1 minute, please. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Is this? Okay. Database engine objects, bytes. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, sorry for that. 524 terabytes. One database size is 524 terabytes, and file size can be 16 terabytes. Log file size is limited, guys. 2 terabytes only. It can grow up to 2 terabytes. Okay, so the database size, it will supports 524 terabytes, and each file supports 16 terabytes. So if you see here file groups, I don't see any file groups. How many files you can see, but there is no size for file group. Okay, so file groups, how many files you can create in file groups, that you can see 32,767. But what is the biggest? What is the size of the file group, that you don't see anywhere? Why? Because
32767 is there, sir.
That is number of files, sir, not size.
Sir, file groups per database is there.
Yes, file groups per database, but it's not size of the file group.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Size of the file group is different. It depends upon the number of files that you are hosting in that file group.
Correct, sir. Correct. True.
Okay. Fine, clear, guys. So there is a correction. 520. No one will ask you what is the biggest size of the database. That's for sure. Okay. So might be sometimes they might ask you what is the size of the log file. Okay. The maximum size of the log file is 2 terabytes, and the data file size is 16 terabytes. Each data file size is 16 terabytes. So if the 16 terabytes is full, then you can add one more data file. Guys, fine. Any issues, any doubts here, please?
Shanmukh, this
Yes.
Partha here. So file group per database is 32,767, right? And what is it, files per database?
32, same. 32,767 only.
So for each file group, we will be able to create only one file?
Not like that. See, one file group supports 32,767. One file group supports 32,767 files. Okay, let me. Maximum it will support 32,767 files per database. 1 minute. Let me just files. See, files per database. 32,767. It will support 32,767 files only, but that you can create in a single file group, or you can create in multiple file groups.
Okay, but this is the limitation. That's
yes,
what
this is the limitation. Yes, this is the limitation.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? But don't worry, don't see, you have to remember this number 32,767. This is associated with most of the things. Other than that, no one will ask you. Why? Because even they can't remember those numbers and all. Maximum databases we can create in SQL Server 32,767. Maximum file groups that supports a database supports 32,767. Maximum files a database supports 32,767. Maximum logins you can create 32,767. Maximum users that you can create 32,767. So for most of the answers 32,767, for most of the questions 32,767 is the answer, guys. Okay, other than that no one will ask you. Mostly they might ask you only these 5 questions: maximum databases, maximum file groups, maximum files, maximum logins, maximum users. Okay, fine, guys.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. So next is option space. Here we just discussed auto growth and all. Then where you are going to store your files. I have C drive only. I don't have other drives. If I have other drives, then chalo, click on this browse button. In which drive you want me to store, in that drive you have to select. I have D drive. Imagine D drive is not a fixed drive, so I cannot store it. But here you can see multiple drives. In which drive you want to store, you can select that drive and you can click OK. So the files will be stored in that drive. Okay, guys, let's go to option space. So here you can see different options, recovery models and all, compatibility levels and all we'll discuss. So as of now, no need to touch these option space. We'll discuss slowly one by one. And file groups, if you see here, sir, I want to add extra file group. Okay, then you can just click add file group. If I click add file group, then this is my FG1 file group 1. So as of now, there are no files in this FG1. Just now I created, right, 0 files. This is one file is there. What is this one file, guys? Can anyone tell me? What is this one file? MDF file.
Data file.
MDF file. Okay, you can see here, right? This MDF file is routed to primary. So this is your one file. And default. So by default, the data will goes to this. Sir, you might have one question. Sir, I am having 2 file groups. To which file group data will go? Right now, is it a valid question? I have 2 file groups, sir. In my primary file group, I have 2 files. In my secondary file group, I have 1 file. Now, if customer is inserting the data from to which file group it will go? So it depends upon this option, default. If you choose primary as a default, then first it will goes to primary file group. If primary is full, then it will go to the next file group, guys. If you choose FG1 as a default, first the data will goes to FG1 files. Then if this is full, it will go to the next file group, guys. Generally primary is the default one. By default, all the data will goes to primary data files. Primary file group, in that primary file group we have MDF file, right? So by default data will goes to MDF file. So this is how you can add the file groups. I have a quick question. So after creating of the database, can I add file groups and files? Try it, guys. Yes or no? Just try it. No issues.
Yes, sir. Yes, I guess.
Yes.
Automatically file groups will get created, right?
How? How come? Did we discuss that point? How automatically file groups will be created? So in that case, what would be the name of the automatically created file groups?
Same like
MDF file.
MDF file.
See, don't confuse, guys. MDF file is different, file group is different. Why you confused? I don't know. I haven't said this word, automatically file groups will be created. Never. File group, automatically one file group will be there, that is primary file group. That's it.
Okay.
By default, primary will be there. No need to create. But my question is, what is my question, guys?
Can we create file groups after
Yes,
creating
yes,
database?
yes. Can we create file groups or files after creating the database?
Yes, sir. We
Yes,
can
it.
create.
So we can add, I think.
Yeah, we can add.
Yes,
The
sir.
answer is yes, we can add it. Otherwise, if we can't add it, we cannot increase the size of the database, right? We cannot create more files, right? Right. So
As you
we can create 32,767 files. So, but we are giving only 1 file or 2 files during the file group, during the database creation. So when we'll give other files, like when there is a requirement, then we have to add it. So the answer is yes, we can add files or file groups at any time. After creation of database also we can add it. Clear? Chalo. What I'm going to do, whatever you do, okay, for example, now you want to say, I told you, right, whatever you are doing in this window, SQL Server can't understand this. SQL Server will prepare a query in the backend. Sir, you said this point, right? Can you please show me that query? What query it will run? It will prepare. Click on this script, guys. Okay, see here. Whatever options we gave, create database name, lot of options, right? While creating, we can see lot of options. These options, these settings, some of them are true, false, 0. So all these options, see, it will prepare a query like this. See how much big query is there. Okay, 86 lines of query is there, guys. 86 lines of query is there. So now if anyone asked you to create a database, do I need to write the whole query, guys? Not required. I can simply go to this, right click database, new database, give the name of the database, click OK. Chala, I am going to create the database now. That's it, created. See here, batch 40. Oh, what happened? Batch 47. Only batch I gave. I didn't give batch 47. Okay, fine. Okay, so now you can see batch is created. Database batch is created. So now if I want to create batch 47, simply to the script I can add batch 47. Wherever batch is there, let me add batch 47. Control C. I am going to replace Control H. Batch will be replaced with batch 47. Batch 47. You can see one option here, replace all. Okay, just replace it. Total 36 occurrences replaced. Okay, so now if I want to create a database batch 47, I can create it. This is my query to create batch 47. Just execute it.
47.
Database does not exist.
47 it is. Create
Sorry?
database batch 47 it is. Batch 47 double time repeated, sir.
Where is that? Okay. Sorry. Thank you for that. Let me execute it again. Cannot create files. What it is saying, the files are existed, right? It is saying okay, fine, because it's already existed. Change the file path. Okay, it is saying like here the file. See, even though you are creating batch 47 is created. Let me refresh it once. Yeah, batch 47 is created. That's why actually batch 47 is created. So it used these files. Okay, that's why it is throwing the error. It just used these files. So I'll tell you guys, nothing to worry here. When I am creating batch 47, my files are created with batch 47, right? If you go to file space, so what are the file names? Just batch 47 .mdf batch 47 underscore log data. So these files are already existed in this path, right? So it is throwing, hey, these files are already existed in this path. Generally, in one folder, you have a file called what is that? Any file name? Photos. There is a file called photos in a folder. Can you create one more file with the same name called photos in the same folder?
No, sir.
No, file is already existed, right? So in the same way, in this path, already these two files are existed. Again, I am creating the two files in the same path. So that's why it's throwing an error called already files are existed in the path, because already exists. Okay, like this. So do I need to run the whole query? Let me show you guys. I'm going to create one more database. What is the command to create database? Create database. Database name is like batch 47 underscore new. Right? So can I execute this query to create a database?
Batch 47, sir. Yeah, no.
Thank you. I am missing this batch 47. Can I execute this query, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
If you see here, almost 83 lines of coding is there to create batch 47. But can I execute this? Can I create a database with 3 simple words? Is it possible?
Yes, sir. I guess.
Yes, sir.
Are you sure, guys?
Yes, sir. Should be.
I think we put in the brackets.
Underscore.
Underscore. No problem, no problem. See, naming conventions, no issues. You can give any name, no problem. Underscore under it will allow no issues. Only server name it won't allow. It don't create any issue. So the answer is, let me show you. Okay, execute. Done. So let me show you the new database. Refresh it. Batch 47 underscore new. Sir, then you said 83 lines of coding, but now you just gave only 3 keywords. How it is possible? I didn't give any path. I didn't give any sizes, auto growth and all. Still, how this database is created, guys? All these values are default values. So SQL Server will add all these values to this command while executing. Don't think SQL Server will execute only these 3 keywords. It will add all the default values, then it will add the database. It will just create the database, guys. Is it clear? There are some default values that will be added by the database engine so that the database will be created. And if you see here, go to this again, you will get the 2 files, data file and log file. And you can see here, this is my data file, this is my log file, and you can see these are my physical file name. Sir, I want to see the files, physical files. Control C, this is the path, right? Windows R, Control V, hit enter. See here. Earlier we have seen this path actually. If you remember, instance root directory, MS SQL. In the morning session we discussed data folder. There you can see, earlier you see only master, model, MSDB, tempdb. Now I created 3 more databases. So 3 into 2, 6 files added. This is for batch, this is for batch 47, this is for batch 47 underscore new. Every database should have these 2 files, data file and log file. Otherwise you cannot create the database, guys. Guys, are we good? Any questions, any doubts, please? In creating the database.
Sir, up to this our work is done, right? Creating a database and giving it to
as
developers.
A DBA, yes, as a DBA, our work will be limited to create the database. We don't do anything other than this.
Okay, sir. And new file creations and new file group creations will be there.
Let me show you that as well. Let me show you that. Yeah, sometimes they might ask you, can you please add extra data? Or else it's our responsibility to add the files based on the usage and all. Mostly application team, they don't ask you, can you add the files and all. If we see, we are the maintenance people, right? If we see the data files are full, if there is no other option that we have to add only data files, then you can add it. But before that, you have to let them know, application team has to know that that you are creating data files and all on the database. Okay, but they don't tell you, please create one more file, please add one more file.
Okay,
they don't tell you.
back end kind of things all we have to do. Front end they will do. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So now if I want to add extra file or file group, go to the properties, same, easy, very easy. Go to files. If I want to add files, click on the add file option. So this is batch 44 F2, batch 44 F2, not fun and frustration. It's just a F2 file 2. Okay. Then you can just click OK. Now 2 files will be, one more file will be added to the database. If you go to physical location, you can see that file, batch 42 underscore F2. Where is that? Yes, F2. Why I'm missing batch 47 every time? Not sure. Okay, guys, is it clear? Creating database, adding files, adding file groups. Is it clear, everyone? Then I have a quick question for all of you.
Samug, one question.
Yes, please.
Yeah, can we, like on the same way we can remove the file also, suppose if we did some mistake?
Yeah, happily we can do that. Files, select the file, remove it. Click OK.
Okay.
That's it. And you can see the file will be deleted from here also, physical location also. This is physical location. Okay, this is physical location. SQL Server, instance root directory, MS SQL, and data. I don't see any file. Batch 40, batch F2 is not there. I don't see any file with batch F2. Okay, in this way you can add files and file groups.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Any other question? Any other questions, guys?
Yeah, like Shanmugh, so we created the batch 47 underscore new database, right? So when we execute the single line command, so this database was created with the owner administrator, right? So is this recommended or not recommended procedure?
See,
While in
can we change the owner of the database?
yes.
You can change it at any time if you want. You can change it. It's not always it's not recommended to create a database with the specific users. Why? Because that users might be there today, tomorrow they might left the organization. So always it's a good practice to change. You see, okay, you just created a database like this, chalo, no problem. After creating it, you can change the database owner, right?
Okay, fine, got it. I thought while at the time of creating itself, we should mention it
No,
correctly.
we can change it at any time, no problem.
Okay, fine, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Are we good? How to create database and all?
So total, how many queries in SQL?
Even I don't know. I don't
No,
know.
maximum
Seriously,
16.
see, as a DBA, we'll use 5 to 10 queries. That's it.
Okay.
But lot of
So
queries are
5
there.
we need to note
Yeah,
it, right?
you have to note it down. You have to by heart.
Sir, I guess he is asking like a DML, DDL, those kind of
No,
things.
he just asked how many queries are there in SQL Server.
Okay,
So
total.
total
Okay,
even I guess I'm not sure how many queries are. Lot of queries are there, but generally we will use 5 to 10 queries hardly. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, bro.
No problem. No problem.
So when it is when coming to any DML or DDL operations, DBAs generally don't need to do when it comes to real time.
Mostly we
developer.
don't. Yeah, mostly we don't do
Sometime.
these things. Mostly we don't do
Developers
these
will
things.
do.
Yeah, developers will insert the data records, will update the records, will delete the records. That's the
Sometimes they give us to execute, but the query is there. So you just need to paste,
correct.
copy and paste, and then execute. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Because why? This is a generic question. Why? Because I am asking. This is like so the upcoming other technology databases, right? So those things somewhere else, DBAs are also performing these actions. DML or DDL. That's right.
Nowadays, what happened is DBA has to do everything with less package.
True, sir.
Right.
If possible, they might ask you to clean the office also.
Man,
But
I
you
have three
you know,
pending tickets.
yeah. So they might ask you to work on the other technologies also, even though we don't know anything.
Sir, recently I have seen a Naukri, that ad I have seen. A Power BI also have to do.
Yeah. Lot of
Integration
things.
also we have to.
See,
Yes, sir.
wherever database is there, all the things you should have knowledge. They might expect lot of things. When we expect a 10 lakhs package, 10 lakhs. No. This project doesn't support that much budget. We have only 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs. So budget wise, they don't give any support for us. But you have to learn multiple technologies. So that's company's nature, guys. They always tries to save the money only. So your manager don't know whether you joined for 6 lakhs or 8 lakhs. He will expect something from you that you should know this. Okay, chalo, you don't know, learn it. Okay, it's good to have multiple knowledge, knowledge on multiple technologies. It's good to have, but at the same time, okay, so DBA, they might ask you to do a lot of things. They might ask you to work on the MySQL databases, to work on the Oracle databases, or Oracle people, they might ask you to to touch the SQL databases also. So lot of challenges are there, but you should be like confident. You should be like, okay, I can do this, I cannot do this. You should be like open with your colleagues, with your team leads and all, guys. You cannot say, okay, I'll do it. Later you are going to struggle. Why? Because once you give the promise, then you have to fulfill that promise. Otherwise, even though you're a good employee, even though you're a hard worker, if you just left one ticket in the queue during the hike and all, they will point out that ticket only on the day you left this critical ticket. So instead of 10 percentage, I'll give you 2 percentage. Yes, one ticket will change your life. Okay, so Yes, guys, but again, I'm saying like this is an important thing. Whatever you can do, just tell them that boss, I can do, I can't do, or I need time. Don't create some false assumptions and all that once you give the promise and later if you are unable to see, don't give the promise. Try it. If you succeeded, then you can tell them that okay, I can do this, I can do this, or I just did it. You can tell them, but if you give the promise and all, you have to do it, guys. Otherwise, it will create a negative impression on you. Fine. Any questions here, please?
Yeah, sir. Can we sync data file when our disk is full?
Happily, see, data file, actually we have two files, data file and log file. So can we string data file means yes, we can string. Technically you can string, but it's not a recommended practice. First thing, what is the shrink and all, people don't understand, right? So I'll tell you guys what is the shrink and all, what it will do. So shrink, you can do it if you have a free space, but generally we don't recommend to shrink the data files. We will shrink the log files regularly, but we don't recommend to shrink the data files. If you shrink the data files, it will create some fragmentations. Fragmentation leads to the performance issues. I'm sorry. Fragmentation leads to the performance issues, guys. So yes, you can shrink it. Any file you can shrink it, but shrinking data file is not a recommended practice. Any other questions, guys? You can ask the questions. That's it for today. Why? Because we don't have time. Only 3 minutes. 3 minutes we have. So just ask the questions if you have. Otherwise, tomorrow at 7 a.m. we'll meet, guys. Again, we'll discuss other things.
Shanmugh, like I have one question.
Yes, please.
So, say for example, I have a database, I mean SQL Server database created on a cloud environment. So will that database be managed via the SQL Server Management Studio?
Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Happily, you can do that. If that SQL Server accept the connections, remote connections.
Okay, we need to establish connection between the AWS
Yes.
Studio, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so irrespective of cloud, either it is AWS or Azure, we can
Anything,
do it, right?
anything you can connect through Management Studio.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Tell me clear. Like, if you have questions, you can ask me, guys. No problem. Don't. I'm not compromising you. If you have questions, you can ask me.
So do we have class tomorrow evening, sir?
Tomorrow evening, I cannot confirm you at this point. Let me tell you guys this weekend.
So
why
daily 2 hours class, sir, or 2.5?
not daily 2 hours, like with a break 2.5 hours, like 10 to 15 to 20 minutes break. You load this video, not able to concentrate as we're giving. No problem, Joy. I'm going to upload it. Okay, so the morning session is already uploaded. Okay, this class also will upload by tonight. Okay, and tomorrow evening I cannot confirm you now, guys. Why? Because tomorrow actually I'm going to Tirupati, so that's the main challenge. That's why I took the class today. Okay, even though like we just started our journey, right? If I gave the break immediately, you might feel some disturbance and also that's why I just canceled the class on Sunday and I am taking class on Friday. Okay, so tomorrow evening I'll start. So not sure, tomorrow morning I'll confirm whether we have classes there or not in the evening. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Today or tomorrow, sir?
Sorry.
Tirupati, you are living today or tomorrow?
Tirupati tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. We will meet in Tirupati.
Definitely, Joy. Definitely, guys. Any other questions? Are we good, guys? Tell me, like, are we going too fast, too slow, or is this okay? Fine.
Fine, sir. Fine.
No problem.
Fine, but a little bit speed, bro. Little bit.
Okay, fine. No problem. Okay. But again, don't expect as the first class, like it should speed up. Initially, train will start slowly on the platform, but after that, it cannot go with the same speed, right? So don't expect the same kind of speed. Yes, definitely at one point, we are not like a spoon feeding sessions and all. Okay, you should like speed up. Initially, most of you people are not technical, so it's a spoon feeding. But after 2 weeks or 3 weeks, don't expect the same spoon feeding. Of course, it's spoon feeding only, but not too slow. It will be moderate. Okay, not too fast. It will be moderate. So try to adjust, try to practice, so that automatically you can adjust. Okay. Yeah. So yes, that's
Okay.
it now, guys. So we'll meet tomorrow at 7 a.m. in the morning, 7 a.m. IST, guys. Okay. That's it for now. Thank you, guys. Thank you all. And
Thank you, bro.
enjoy
Hello.
the weekend. Yes, please. Yes, please. You can ask.
Yes, I discussed. I saw in YouTube videos in virtualization. Still, I did not found.
Okay, okay.
After
Not
this call, can we connect in a desk for
sure.
5 minutes?
No, no. Any desk also it won't work. Why? Tell me. Why? Because you have to go to the boot settings. Boot
Yes.
settings means you cannot start your laptop, right? So boot settings means before starting the laptop, you have to go to the boot settings. So Lenovo laptop, right?
Yes, Lenovo AMD A8.
Not required, just Lenovo is enough. How to enable virtualization in Lenovo. So BIOS.
Today I just enabled virtualization.
Yes.
Mine also Lenovo Windows 10.
So
I
restart.
saw one video on
Okay.
YouTube.
Okay. Okay.
I
So
followed it
have
and
you?
I just
So you just enabled it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay, done. So you enable like this only, right? Press F1 key in the boot settings. You didn't remember what you did?
Not like that. Settings and then
Settings.
recovery modes. Yeah.
Okay.
If possible, can you share your screen?
So are you connected
Okay.
from laptop or phone?
Yeah, laptop only.
Okay, let me give you share permissions then. Where is that? Where is that? Share screen. Yeah, you can share the screen. I'm going to stop my share.
Okay.
Sir, in office also we will connect to VMs only or Azure or any data related websites, sir, for this.
Did not get your question. Did not get your question.
Sir, in office in real time,
Yes.
same like what you are explaining here, like VMs only, there will be VMs only, no?
Yes,
Or,
yes, VMs only, VMs only. See, some organizations they will give you VMs, some organization they might give you Azure machines. Depends.
Okay.
Till last year, till or 2 years back, most of the machines are VMs only. Now things are
Okay.
slowly moved to Azure, right? So you might get Azure VMs also.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Sir, I am planning to get a Azure account so that it will be useful for the next classes and all.
Yeah,
So that
you
is
can create.
reasonable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For the Azure classes, you can just have Azure account.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Sir, one more thing.
Yes, yes.
There are so many databases, right? Oracle,
Yes, yes.
MySQL, and this PHP. Sorry, MySQL.
Yes.
Can we work through any of the database if we
No, 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 not like. See, most of the database technologies concept, most of the things are same. Okay, but the way that you are going to do is different. Okay, backups will be there in Oracle also, in MySQL also, in NoSQL also. But how you are going to take the backup is different. Creating databases will be there in the SQL server, MySQL server, in Oracle. Everything creating databases will be there. Okay, you should create the database. Okay, you can create the database, but not in this way. Might be there is a different way, different command and all will be there. But yes, once you learn one technology completely, like one SQL database or one Oracle, it's easy to learn other database technologies. Most of the things will be same. The way that you are doing the appearance and all will be different. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. After this, update and security.
So what is the screen? So you just went to settings, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
I just open settings
Okay.
and then this one, update and security.
Virtualization, huh?
No, after that, this one, recovery.
Oh, okay, recovery. Okay.
So we have to restart.
Okay.
So after that, we'll be having 3 options like continue, troubleshoot, and turn off your PC. So
Okay.
we have to click on troubleshoot.
Okay.
And after that,
After
we have
that,
to
you,
select,
you,
yeah, after that we have to select UEFI firmware settings.
yes. But in my laptop, I did not get that setting, bro. UEFI.
Okay.
If
That's
we
the
don't
problem.
have UEFI setting, we have one more way to enable. I saw that in YouTube. If you
See,
want, I
what
can.
I remember is like we can directly go to boot settings by just pressing F1 or F2 or F9 or
Yeah.
F10 keys, and then you can see this kind of option. Okay, let me share my screen. Huh? Sirisha, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So here, once you just press that boot key, you can see this kind of blue screen. Okay. So there you have to go to configuration tab. Sometimes you have to go to the configuration tab. Sometimes you have to go to the security tab. So in that virtualization, one option called virtualization, Intel virtualization technology. Generally it will be like this. It will be disabled and you have to hit enter. You have to use only arrow keys, up arrow, right arrow, left arrow, down arrow, only arrow keys, and you have to hit enter. It will change, and then at the end you can see F9 exit like this. At the end you can see, if you want to save, F10, press F10, it will save and exit. So like that it will be. So you will get this kind of screen, disabled, enabled. Okay. Array. I am getting these things. Yeah, so you will get this kind of disabled and enabled pop-up, guys. Just use your down arrow and enable it, and just press F10. Okay, so you cannot share your screen. You can do WhatsApp video call, so that I can show you in case if you are facing any issues and all. Okay.
Okay.
Sir, there is an option to disable ads, sir.
Ads in YouTube.
Yeah.
You want to take a
No.
premium account?
No, sir, no. There
Okay.
is app called Ad Block Plus in this Chrome. So you have to enable that. Afterwards, there will be no ads in any website.
In any website
In
or on
all,
YouTube also?
no, sir. In all websites, it will be disabled. Ads will be disabled.
Okay.
So in 3 dots will be there, right, sir? Their account, Shenmukh account is there, sir. There are 3 buttons, and more tools is there, right, sir?
Okay. More
Fine,
tools.
more tools, yes.
Okay.
Their extensions is there.
Okay, extensions. Okay.
Fifth,
It's
yeah.
an extension. Okay. We have to install
We
an
have,
extension, right?
yes, sir. Adblock plus one extension is there.
Okay.
When we add that one, all ads will be gone, sir.
Oh, okay. Fine.
Okay, sir.
But let them survive. Huh?
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah, not an issue. Okay. Fine, guys. Anything is there to discuss? If not, we'll connect tomorrow at 7 a.m. Huh?
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good night.
Okay, good night, sir.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Bye.
Good night, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Once I will check and let you know, sir.
Sure,
Is it
Saida.
available or not?
Yeah. Just check and let me know, or else if not, just ping me. Okay, and you can do the
Okay.
video call also.
Okay, sure, sir.
Thank you, Saida. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.